Hey guys, I'm Becky and welcome to another episode of Read 'em or Read. Read 'em or Read is a series that I started in 2025 to tackle all of the physical unread books that I have. So behind me are my two bookshelves filled with physical books. We started the year with 166. We have so far read 10, which means we're at 156. And I have plans this week to hopefully read 3 more. Now, normally I try to mood read through my shelves with you guys for the most part, or try my best to, but it seems like a lot of the time this year so far has been doing readathons and things like that where I kind of have to plan in advance. This month is slightly similar, but it's not because of a readathon. It is for the fact that I am moving. I am moving in less than 2 weeks. I believe it is like 12 days until I get the keys and 14 days until we are moved in. I'm so freaking excited. And this week is definitely going to be a kind of like busy, hectic week because this is the last full week that we are here in this current house. So I definitely needed some audiobooks, which is what I have today. I need some books that are going to be kind of easy to listen and get through while packing and trying to de-stress from this whole situation. And I definitely plan on having some moving content in this vlog. So if you are looking forward to that, welcome. We're going to have it. So first, let's talk about the books that I'm planning on reading. I thought the easiest way to pick what books to read was to first see like what do I know I can easily get on audio from my library. And then that kind of brought up the theme to read my favorite authors that I physically own. So the first book that I have in this stack, which I don't know, I think it might be the first book I end up picking up. Possibly. That is Every Last Breath by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the third and I believe final book in the Dark Element series. I, for the most part, remember books 1 and 2. I am going to look online to see if there's like a quick summary I could read just to refresh, but I'm pretty sure I can jump in and kind of get it figured out because I have reread book 1 twice now so that I could read book 2, I think it was last year, and I need to just finish this series already. Like, it's a pretty good series. It's not the best series from her. That is definitely the Luck series. So amazing. So amazing. And then probably From Blood and Ash after that. But what is this book about? I can't really tell you what this book is about because it'll spoil it, even though this is like an older book. It's been out for quite a few years now. But book 1 is about a girl who, I think she's human, but she is raised by shifters who are gargoyles. And she also ends up getting seduced by a demon. So there's like a love triangle between this gargoyle shifter who has been like her best friend her whole life, like she's adopted, and he's always been a constant in her life, and she always hoped that they would be together, but then she meets this demon who I am much more into, and that is kind of what book 1 is about. Then after this, I have The House We Grew Up In by Lesa Jewell. Lesa Jewell is my all-time favorite adult thriller writer. I love her so freaking much. And I figured this is one of 2 on my shelves actually, but out of the 2 that I physically own, this one I am most excited about. And I very much love Lesa Jewell audiobooks. I feel like it should be pretty easy breezy to get through. So I think this is also a very good pick. And then the third and final book that I have planned to read this week is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I think other than his newest release and his Wolf Song series, I think this is the last of his books that I have to read. I'm not positive, and now I'm questioning myself as we speak, but this is the one of his books that I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. Like, there's just, the description isn't gripping me, but I have loved the other books that I've read by him, so I'm pretty excited to get to this. I do physically own Wolf Song, which I did try reading once and could not get into it. I am planning, just as a little spoiler, a little sneak peek, I am planning on giving it a second chance in June because it does feature a queer romance, so I am going to retry it and see if I like it because everyone loves that series, and I don't, like, usually if everyone loves it, I usually love it. So, like, what's wrong with me, you know? So we will find out in June. So yes, those are the 3 books that I have on this week's TBR, all as audiobooks, even though I physically own them. But I just honestly don't think I have time to, like, physically read in the foreseeable future. Which I do have one other book that is a physical read, and I need to read it by the end of the month. But I'm kind of trying to get as much of my TBR that is audio out of the way these next couple weeks, and then hopefully can do some physical reading when I'm like just relaxing and chilling after I've moved, because I have the entire week of Memorial Day off to kind of like unpack, decompress, just enjoy my new house. So I'm hoping that then I can possibly physically read, but we'll see how much more work is needed in my new home. So yes, as far as the other plans of this week, I definitely have some packing to do. I have a little bit of decluttering to do. There's only 2 rooms left in our house that I need to go through and declutter, and that is the basement and our kitchen. So I don't think I'm going to film any content of that just because it's a bit boring, but I am going to try to get some content of me packing. I am also planning on possibly filming a tour of my library, because I feel like this is the easiest room. Not the easiest, but we are trying to pack our like non-essentials right now, and this room is very much, unfortunately, a non-essential. Like, I can live without having access to my books for a couple weeks, whereas like I can't pack up my bed, I can't pack up my clothes, I can't pack up the food, you know? So I feel like I need to get like a tour out of the way so that way I can start packing it for like memory's sake. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen like a full like 360 view of my office, so we need to do that. And then I was planning on doing like a house tour, but honestly, through this whole like decluttering and packing process, my house is a wreck. It is such a wreck. So I don't think it will do well to give you guys a tour when you can't see a ton, because there's boxes everywhere and blankets everywhere, because we're just like throwing things around and trying to clean and declutter and all this. But all right, I am going to go downstairs and I think eat some dinner. Today we are taking a break from packing, so I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to watch some TV, I'm going to eat, and then I'm hoping to start my first audiobook, which I feel like should be Every Last Breath, because I think that that is the one that I'm like least excited to jump into out of the 3. So I feel like I should just go ahead and do that one. Hi, I am sitting in my living room. As you can see, we have boxes, wall decor, empty boxes. Over on this side, we have more empty boxes, blankets and laundry to put away. Like, this is what I was talking about of like, my house is a wreck. But yeah, so I wanted to talk to you guys because I am just under 50% of the way through Every Last Breath. I am technically, I think, 48% of the way through. And I gotta say, I'm bored. I am bored. I just don't care that much about this series. It's good, it's okay. I definitely would have liked it a lot more reading it back when it came out, because this came out in 2015. I definitely would have liked it a lot more then. I would have liked it if I had just gotten done with the Lux series and then started this, but it's just feeling very like YA. And I talk about it a lot with you guys, I feel like, but I never thought it would happen. But in my old age of 33 years old, teen books are just not where it's at for me. Like, every once in a while, there's a standout, like Divine Rivals, for example. But I don't know, like, it just doesn't feel like the vibe anymore. It doesn't take it as far as I want to, or go into, like, enough gory detail, or, you know, stuff like that. It just doesn't go that far, which is totally valid, and the book was not written with me in mind, so that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know, it just, the book just is what it is, you know? Like, it's a 10-year-old teen, new adult-ish kind of book, because I'm pretty positive they're still in high school. It's just weird, because since we're dealing with like paranormal creatures, of like the schooling part. So I know in this entire book, I don't think she's gone to school at like one time, which I was mistaken about her being a human. I totally forgot. She is is it a half angel, half demon, or is it a half? I think technically it's a half angel, half demon, but the angels are wardens, and so they're kind of gargoyle-like, if I recall this correctly. And I could have sworn that I did find like some sort of like recap site that did have summaries for books 1 and 2, and now I cannot find it to save my life, so I did just have to jump in. And I'm remembering enough for it to be fine. I don't think that that's playing an issue at all. of me not just like being in love with it, but also like this whole series, honestly, because I have read it like way after release date, it has always been kind of like meh. Like, I definitely would have fucked with this really hard back when I was a teenager, early adult, like early 20s. But now, you know, so I mean, at this point, I might as well finish it. I'm already halfway through it. It's fine. I am gonna see if I could maybe finish it today. That would be lovely, because I'm already, like I said, if I'm already 50% of the way through, I still need to do a little bit more chores and do some packing today. So we might as well pop this baby in and just finish her out. But yeah, I'm like kind of interested in the story, like, you know, the romance aspect of it a little bit, but like the main plot of the book and like the action, I'm like, I truly don't care. Which is wild. Which is totally wild. I'm just like, is it over yet? Like, there was one part where we had like, not even like a big like boss level battle. It was just like a small skirmish. And I was like, are we at the end? No, we're not. Foolish. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it so far. I definitely have much higher expectations for the other two books, and I think my expectations will be met. And that's totally why I wanted to start with this book in the first place. So, as far as what I've done today so far, today I took Pepe to the animal shelter to get microchipped for our move. And honestly, he did exactly as well as I expected. Like, he wasn't any worse than I expected, but he also wasn't any better than I expected. They originally wanted to just like take him from me and go do it, and I was like, I don't know if that's smart on your end. Because what was funny is that all three of the guys that I encountered at the animal shelter were like borderline terrified of cats. And I'm like, cats read that energy and will respond, and Pepe wants you to be afraid of him. So if you react that way, he's gonna do it more. They were like, how friendly is he? And I was like, not very. I was like, he was attacked by a dog once, and ever since, he is like very much like attack first, ask questions later kind of cat. Like, not immediately attack, but like he is be aggressive and intimidate, and then read the situation and then reassess. Like, he hisses, he gets very defensive, and like it sometimes gets to a point where people, like, I'll be with him and they'll be worried about my safety, and I'm like, I'm his mom. I have been with him since he was 6 weeks old. I'm not gonna get hurt. I know how to handle my cat. I have complete trust in him, and he has complete trust in me. So like, we're good. I promise. So they did let me come in the back to hold him, and because of how afraid they were, they did mess it up the first time. They didn't go deep enough, so it was just kind of like half sticking out of his skin, because they were like, you know, feel on his neck to make sure that it's under the skin, and I was like, oh yeah, no, it's not at all. And then they also handed me the tool to scan for a microchip, because they didn't want to get close to him to do it. So luckily, like, Pepe was just freaked out in general. He doesn't like, he likes going outside and exploring very carefully on a leash, but he's not like, I'm gonna be totally cool being in a new place. So like, he was already upset that he was in the car and in his carrier, so he's already kind of freaked. And then we go into this room that probably smelled like dog, because it's like their meet and greet animal rooms, because they're currently under construction right now. And then you had these two guys who are just reeking of fear. So, you know, he was like nervous and like, you know, hissing and, you know, growling and stuff like that. He, you know, was totally fine. He wasn't like attacking or anything. He was just like kind of scared. But like, you know, I held him for them, and I was like, you're just gonna have to like really get over it and get in there and give him the microchip. So the second time they did do it much better, because I was there when Ebony got hers, because when we adopted her, we got her from a shelter. They did it right there in front of us. I held her while they did it, and it was no big deal. And so, like, I kind of knew how it was, but I will say, with the other place, it was almost like an ear-piercing gun. Like, they just kind of, like, held it to her, and then it, like, shot into her, whereas they did it with a needle. So, that was freaky. But the first time, which is definitely why it failed, is the needle is, like, it's long, and it's like kind of thick, because it's got to fit the microchip in it, you know, to shoot it into the skin. So he just like went up and just like tried to place it into Pepe's neck because it goes like in the back in between the shoulder blades. So he just kind of like shoved it in and then pushed it and kind of, you know, like jumped away because he's scared, and it did not work. So the second time he like pinched his neck skin to like kind of lift it up and then place it all the way in, and that time it worked completely, of course, which is also exactly the way they did it with Ebony. So that's done. Pepe's all set up. He at first acted like he was like mad at me, but then he was like, okay, we're cool. Like, I realize I'm totally fine and everything's fine. I do want to like feel around on Ebony to see if I can feel it on her, because I mean, it was just done, but I can feel it on Pepe. Like, it's definitely under the skin, but I can feel it. So I am curious. That is how my day has gone so far. I've also done some laundry. So today I need to put away clothes and pack, and we are gonna go run grocery shopping. So I will maybe grab some content for you while packing, but that's the day. I'm just gonna keep on listening to every last breath and hope for the best. Hey guys, so I am about to leave for work, but I have some time to update you guys because I have in fact finished a book. So I did finish Every Last Breath by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I am going to give this book probably somewhere between 3 and 4 stars. Maybe just a solid 4. I might just give it a solid 4. I am very biased when it comes to Jennifer Armentrout, especially when I don't like it. Like when I give a 5-star to Jennifer Armentrout, like I really mean it. But sometimes I give a higher rating. I think I have done it, given a 5-star as well. Maybe. No, I don't think so. I feel like 4 is probably the lowest I've given her because she's my favorite author. And I do love her stuff. It's just like that book just wasn't for me, you know? And that's how it is with this one. Like I explained to you guys, like this one just reads very teen, and that's not what I'm into anymore. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a solid 4. Realistically, it should be like a 3, but who cares? I will say I'm happy with who she ends up picking for her love interest. That is who I was rooting for the entire time. The storyline was pretty interesting. I kind of figured what was going to happen at the end was going to happen, but I also didn't think it was going to happen because that would mean someone dying. It was interesting. It was pretty wild. And I feel like if I would have read this when I was younger and read them all like back to back when they came out, this series definitely would have pulled some more emotions out of me. Whereas this one I was just like, oh wow, oh okay. You know, like, and I was a little bit bored like I explained to you, so it was very much like a solid 3-star, but I'm gonna give it 4 because it's Jennifer Armentrout. You know? It just is what it is. I don't want to hear any comments about it. It just is what it is. So then I did finish this last night, and I immediately went into Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. And that is because I feel like the Lesa Jewell is going to be my favorite in this vlog, so I wanted to save it for last. And so far I've only read 2 chapters of this. And it is kind of interesting. It's a little bit boring and a little bit serious, but that is how House on the Cerulean Sea started. It was a bit serious and boring, and then I really got into it. So I'm hoping that there is some like fantastical comedy kind of tidbits later on. I know that this one is supposed to be a bit more serious because this one is about a guy who is honestly not that nice. He also seems like he's probably somewhere on the spectrum as well, because he's very like diligent with rules and facts. Like everything is very black and white to him. And then he dies and he gets I think, what is it, like 7 days? Yeah, he's given a week to try to like make up for a lack of a life before he has to cross over. So I think that this book is going to get a little bit more fantastical, or at least funny and lighthearted, because I just got to the part where he has found out that he's dead and he's just been buried. So I think it's gonna go up from here, but I do feel like this book is going to be a bit more serious and probably make me cry, because it sounds like, I mean, he's already died. So I feel like at the end of this, he's going to be dead, you know, like for real dead, never to come back. So I feel like this one is definitely gonna be a lot more emotional, and I think I'm ready for it. I did also realize, I mean, I didn't really realize, I kind of knew the whole time, but then I was like reminded that next Monday is my book club meeting, and I have not read that book yet. So at some point this weekend, I will also need to read that. For that, we're reading Viscount in Love by Eloisa James. I am really excited for it. We have never read like a bodice ripper for my book club, and it seems like most of the people in book club are pretty nervous about it and kind of think it's gonna be like cheesy, ridiculous, kind of. I don't think anyone is anticipating just how like heartfelt and steamy and really good these books can be. So I know that my best friend Ro has already started it, and she was like, I'm really liking this so far. And I'm like, I told you, like, these are so good. I love mixing in a historical romance every once in a while. They're such a good time. So I'm pretty excited to do that, but I will also need to add that into the mix this weekend. I may go ahead and just kind of like give you guys some thoughts on it just because it is happening during this week, because I feel like, I mean, I have today and tomorrow, I guess, to read Under the Whispering Door, but then I definitely, like, no later than Saturday morning need to read the Eloisa James. So I might like extend this vlog a little bit, but yeah, I think I might just include some Eloisa James content, even though I do not own it and it is not for Read 'em or Reap at all, but whatever, you know, whatever. But all right, I'm gonna get to work and I will see you guys later. Hey guys, happy Saturday. I have not yet finished Under the Whispering Door, but I have been reading. I just haven't been reading a ton. I don't know why I thought I could read so much while moving, and it's really not working out, and it's making me sad, but at the same time, like, I'm completely understanding, but I really want to read books. I am now on chapter 14, but I'm a little bit over the halfway mark. I am liking it. It made me tear up once so far. It has definitely made me like chuckle, but it definitely isn't anything close to like House in the Cerulean Sea or what was that other book? I cannot remember. The one with like the vacuum cleaner and stuff. It's not like those where it's kind of like whimsy and magical. This one is good, but it is much more serious, like I was saying. And I am liking it, but it is just more of like a kind of like a slow, cozy read that also has like some introspection of like what a good person is and stuff like that. So I am enjoying it, but it's not something that I'm just like can't stop reading, you know? So since today is Saturday, I am going to put it on pause and read my book club book really quick. I'm hoping that it's not that long, but let me find out just how long it is. Okay, so it's only 9.5 hours, which really isn't that bad. But I'm thinking today and tomorrow, so I might not get to my third and final book in this vlog. But I am going to start that because I'm going to start packing up my office, and it makes me so excited, but it also makes me sad. Like, this is definitely the room that has the most stuff in it, and it's all non-essential. But I have been waiting to pack it up because I love being in this room. This room brings me joy. I feel so cozy and happy in this room. I have decorated it and set it up in such a perfect way. And on one hand, I'm sad to take it all down, but on the other hand, I'm extremely excited because that just means I get to like do it all over again and maybe do it better for the future. I don't know. So yeah, I am going to give you guys a room tour, and then we're going to get to packing and listening to Viscount in Love. Okay, so keep in mind that my office is a little bit of a wreck right now, but this is honestly like it in its natural habitat of like me not really like picking up or cleaning. Like, this is how it normally kind of is, very lived in, if you will. So let's start from the door. Okay, so if you're walking into my office, this is what you see. I have here on the door this awesome pumpkin sign that says time to get spooky. I definitely am going to be keeping this, obviously. I don't know if I'm going to be keeping it on the door because I do have like future plans for the door of my future library / office. But one thing I would change is that this bangs every time you open or close the door. So I would definitely like Velcro it to the door so it doesn't do that in the future. So then right here hanging on the door, I do have my like current crochet project. Over here, I have some bags of books that I am donating. Then we have over here, I have this super cute plastic table that I got from Target many, many years ago, like maybe within a year or two of us moving in. And underneath it is my sewing machine, as well as my binder of crochet patterns. And then on top of it, I honestly just have like random stuff. Like, this table doesn't really serve a purpose. I have another crochet project that I have been working on, and then I just have like some random bits and bobs. Like, here is a book light, a wine glass that I got for Christmas 2 years ago, I think, a tumbler that my mom made me, which is really awesome because if you can tell, that is my tattoo. So she took a photo of it and then turned it into this really awesome cup that has my name on it, and those are like actual burnt book pages. And then like this is from Halloween, like it's just like random stuff. So then starting on this wall, we do have my book cart, which you guys have seen in most of my sit down videos. But let me kind of explain what is on here. So behind here is a bunch of art that I still need to hang up. Then I have my pouch of annotation supplies. And then these are all the books that like I'm either hoping to get to soon, are books that I'm giving to my mother because for each holiday I give her a book that I have read for her to read. Or some of them are books that I have read that I have yet to move to these shelves. And a couple of them are books that I have read at some point this year, but I need to keep so I can make my granny square and take a picture with it before getting rid of them. I also have a Fall Out Boy box. I bought the album and a t-shirt and it came in this like collector box, so I have that as well. Then the other two are just all of my book sleeves. So these are my extra large ones, and then these are my standard size to mini. And then back to looking at this wall, I have some art. So I have this really awesome glow-in-the-dark print that I got from the shop Oddities. It is like a mostly like creepy antique oddity store. They had a show on like Discovery or something called Oddities. So when I went there the first time I went to New York, I bought this from them. Above that is an art print of Donnie Darko. I'll actually get closer so you guys can see these better. Like, look at how cool that is. So awesome. Then we have Donnie Darko. Then we have this awesome wreath that I made with book pages. We have my diploma from the University of Michigan and some photos from graduation, as well as a picture of my sorority sisters. And then this is a picture of me from graduation, and then all the signatures from some of my family members and friends at my graduation party. And then behind this closet is going to be an explosion. So let me step back to show you exactly what we're working with. So over here is a bunch of just like random stuff, like some picture frames, some different like decor things that I like no longer have up. Then in this clear tote is all of my like specialty yarn, cotton yarn, these like little tiny sugar and cream ones, but all of those. And then on top of those, as you can see, it is buckling. I definitely need a new system going forward. We have, this one is my current project tote. As you can see, there's like other random stuff that's just in it for now, but this is like what I carry around for all of my current projects. Underneath that is a tote that's just full of like gift bags, tissue paper, and stuff like that. Over here is a bag of some craft supplies, and then here is a tote of a project that I was working on that I decided to put on pause for now. Up top is just a whole bunch of different like art supplies, puzzles, crochet kits, looms. We have this looks terrifying, especially with this like mesh. These are 2 Halloween masks from Nightmare Before Christmas. My plan is to hang them as like a decor piece, but I do need to get the witch, which would be Shock. And then behind, if you can see, the other half of this closet is all just bags of yarn arranged by color. So then the next wall to go through would be this main wall that you see when you come in. So these are all of my read and favorite books. So across the top I have my Pop Funkos. I have like this Pharaoh is actually a 3D puzzle that my mom did a really long time ago and I love. I got these awesome Pop Funkos for Christmas. It's me and my husband and our cats. I have some decor, a Scentsy warmer, my ears from Disney, and then it's just my shelves of all of my read books for the most part. There are a couple books on here that are not read, but for the most part, all of these books have been read. Then we come over here, and I have my Hufflepuff crest. I also have this Hufflepuff art print that I got many years ago. I have this Oh, the Places You'll Go canvas that I got when we first moved in. And then this is technically a pin canvas, but like the artwork is so beautiful that I didn't want to put pins on it, so I just put the pins that came with it for Throne of Glass. And then I do have this pin canvas that I have used. Then we are moving on to this wall of my office. So the main thing is definitely my desk. So here it is from farther away. Right over here are these shelves that look like books. They are filled with like pens, Cricut supplies, stuff like that. And then just a bunch of, again, like crafting supplies are all right here. Then we have my desk in all of its glory. Underneath I have some notebooks, a tripod, my bigger Cricut machine, and then a binder full of important documents. We have my new computer, my headphones. This is my Surface Pro as well as a typewriter keyboard. And then we move on to my unread shelves. So starting on top, we have some Pop Funkos. mainly the decor over here is Nightmare Before Christmas. And then here is a sneak peek for the next Read 'em or Reap. Here are the books that I have set aside for that, so I can make sure not to pack them up and have them in a box that I can easily find. But then we just have all of my unread shelves, as well as this shelf, which I believe is plugged in. Yes. We have this blacklight shelf that has some Nightmare Before Christmas pieces. I want to get the rest of them, but I have yet to do so. On this side of all my unread books. And then on the floor, we have this really cool bench that I have. It's not very comfortable, but I don't ever want to part with it. We have some stuffed animals of mine. We have my records, my Diamond Dot supplies, a Lego poinsettia set that I got for Christmas that I need to put together. And then these are like some wall decals of Nightmare Before Christmas. And this is technically an Oogie Boogie hat, but I'm going to use it as a tree topper because I want to do a Nightmare Before Christmas tree in the future. And then that leads us to the final wall. I have my TV. Then we have another book wreath that I made. We have this crocheted fish. So this is actually my stepdad's cousin got into crocheting because of me, and she tried to make a scarf and it turned out this kind of like fish shape mess, and she was like, the only person who's going to appreciate it is you, so I wanted to give it to you, and I love it. I've had it hung up the entire time. I have this really cute sign that I found, I can't remember where, but it says I make cute things with yarn. We have my big sister paddle from the sorority. We have this really awesome art print that I got. And then we also have this diamond dot that I did that looks like ebony. At last summer's art festival in Wyandotte, I got this really cool metal bat that I have hanging from the TV. We have these awesome decor pieces. And then the last of the wall decor is this really cool clock that we got, I believe, when we first moved in. So then the last thing is this cabinet here, which is, again, really just a whole lot of catch-all. So on top, it looks like I have a couple like art prints and posters of my husband's, which is sitting on a stack of books of his. Then right here, this black piece is actually my Wii U, and on top of it is my Xfinity streaming platform device thing that they give you for free. I have a Scentsy warmer. I have these awesome skull tapered candles that I got from the dollar store 2 years ago or last year. I have my Switch dock. I have the granny squares that I have made so far. This is my record player. On top of it are some tarot cards, my tarot mat, and then over here are some oracle cards and my other tarot deck, as well as just like some decorative pumpkins that I moved here to get them out of the way. Then inside of this cabinet, for the middle part, is mostly candles and then a couple little figurines. I have notebooks, some more pins, just random kind of bits and bobs as well. Down here is mostly like crafting supplies as well as some incense supplies. Over here inside this side is all of my Scentsy stuff. This one was mostly filled with business supplies because I used to sell Scentsy, and I have since when I was cleaning and getting rid of stuff to prepare for the move, I got rid of all that, so it's pretty empty in here. And then in this side, we have all of my watercolor supplies, some Diamond Dot supplies, I think a canvas. We also have all of my Wii U games as well as controllers. So guys, that is my office. That's the entire thing. I'm going to start working on packing it up. I think I might start on the closet, because I feel like that really isn't going to take me that long, and I do need to like get rid of some stuff out of there anyways, probably. So I think I'm going to start there and listen to Viscount and Love. Now that you guys have seen the full 360 view of my office, I will go ahead and start packing. I do want to really quickly just give you guys like a quick, like uncut view of the office. So like walking in, this is kind of what you see. And like that is basically the entire room, just so you guys get like a better feel for like how it looks in real life. But alright, let's get to packing. Happy Sunday. You can probably hear the echo. I have done quite a bit. As you can see, the walls are bare, other than these two paper things and my paddle, because the paddle I want to package up with the breakables, and then the paper wreaths I'm going to probably transport in a vehicle instead of the moving truck. I have this area that I need to kind of finish up. I obviously have my bookshelves to do, and then my desk, really, because I have this red thing basically clear. My closet is done, so I'm hoping to get the rest of this done today. So it's happening. It's coming along. There's so much more stuff in here than I originally understood or anticipated. I definitely had like a mini freak out yesterday because of how much stuff is in this room, but it's fine. I did do another clean out. I think that I've pretty much gotten rid of everything I don't want to keep going forward. Yeah, we just need to pack everything up. I'm hoping to get this done today, and then during the week do the rest of the house. So I didn't do any filming yesterday, but I will film once I start emptying the shelves. So wish me luck on that. Before I finish this room out, I have been reading Viscount in Love. Yesterday I almost got to the end. I got to page 292, so I literally only have this little tiny amount left. That's it. So I'm going to pop in my earbuds, I think, and finish that off and get to cleaning. Well, get to packing. So I'll see you once this is done. All right, ignore my hair. I'm definitely gonna need to take a shower tonight. Okay, so I have gotten everything except knickknacks and books. Everything else is all packed up. There's nothing on my desk except for the drawers from the bookshelf that's over here, or the book drawers that are over here. So I just have to pack up these books, all my knickknacks, and my books. So I am still going to try to finish it tonight, worst case tomorrow. We're making good time, I think, on packing up the house. My husband has been working on the basement while I'm doing this room. But right now I'm going to take a break. I'm going to throw some laundry in the washer. I'm going to eat and just chill for a second, see what time it is, and then decide if I'm going to finish this today or tomorrow. But in other news, I did in fact finish Viscount in Love. I'm giving it, I think, like a solid 4-star. It was good, but I definitely had, I really enjoyed it. I loved the kids. I liked the chemistry and the romance and the smut, but there were arguments between the characters that weren't needed. They felt like they were in there just because a third act breakup needed to happen kind of thing, but it wasn't just the third act breakup. It was kind of like little things here and there all the time. So it was all right. It was all right. I'm gonna give it a solid 4-star, which is probably generous because I was heavily distracted. But I am going to now attempt to finish Under the Whispering Door. I'm gonna wait till after dinner, but try to finish that. And then I think if I extend this to tomorrow, that I will go ahead and also do The House We Grew Up In, just to kind of close out this read 'em or reap of the office being packed up and finishing the books. So if I end up packing it tonight, we will just be reading 2 books, I think. But if not, then we will read 3. So we will find out in the next clip. Hello, welcome to another day of packing. So last night I did not finish Under the Whispering Door. And I thought I made a pretty big chunk of it last night. And was like, oh yeah, I probably only have a couple hours left. No, I'm maybe 60% of the way through it. I mean, I don't have a ton left, but I still have a lot left. So I'm gonna go ahead and call The House We Grew Up In as not happening in this vlog. That's okay. I know that I had high goals and expectations for this month, and it's just simply not happening. And that's okay, because the main focus is unfortunately not reading, but packing. I am listening to the book, and I'm going to finish packing up this room and finishing this darn book for this vlog. So that is the goal, to finish up this vlog, finish up this book, finish up this room before I can start my next moving vlog. folks. The time is upon us. The only thing left in the office is the books. So I am also a chapter and a half away from the end of this book. And I decided to pause it to first talk about how we are at the end. But I have already cried. I've already cried during this chapter dealing with Cameron. That was tough, especially because of someone's name. And I have a feeling that I may have some emotions during this last bit. So I may have some reactions for you, or I may not. Who knows? But I wanted to give you some context as we move into this last piece of the vlog. So let's get you set up where you can see what's going on, and let's finish this project. Okay, let's discuss this book. As you saw, I was extremely emotional at the end of this. This book has a whole lot of feelings in it. So I definitely felt moments of heartbreak, sadness, laughter and joy. Like, it definitely balanced all of these like extremely dark emotions with a balance of light and laughter, which I really appreciated, because this book could have went really dark. Like, I read the acknowledgments, and TJ Klune talks about how it was really hard for him to write this book because he talks about something that he's never talked about outside of therapy. And I'm wondering if that's Cameron's story, because I felt like that one just had a whole lot of emotion in it. And so that's kind of like what my guess is. But man, this book really hit it home. I truly don't know what I'm going to rate this book, because there was also times where I was like a little bit, I don't want to say bored, but I wasn't like fully drawn in. Like I enjoyed the entire thing. The ending, like the last third, I would say, was definitely like very impactful to me. But honestly, like thinking back on the book, even parts that I didn't feel fully connected, like I did really, really enjoy this book. I don't know what to give it. I almost want to just give it a 5-star, but then on Storygraph maybe give it like a 4.5, because I feel like a 4.5 is very much what I'm feeling like, because House on the Cerulean Sea got 5 stars and Somewhere Beyond the Sea got 5 stars, but this isn't close to those. Like I like those so much more, like rereadability and everything, whereas this one I'm like, it was impactful and important and emotional, but not my favorite TJ Klune book. So, because I also feel like the other book, which I can't think of what the heck that book is called, that one I also would rate higher than this. So I think, I don't know if I should just, I think I'm just going to go ahead and give it a 5. I'll give it a 5 on the places I can't do halves, and then 4.5 everywhere else. I think I'm okay with that. Okay, so I think I'm going to listen to some music for the rest of the night, and we are going to finish up these shelves. I have done all of those. I just have my specialty shelves and then a little tiny bit on this end one, but we're making good progress. My books are definitely like, it's flying by, it's quick and easy. I do have to figure out like how many boxes this took so I can see if I have enough boxes. But yeah, the book is done. The book is finally done, and I will take my thumbnail as soon as I compose myself. But all right, let's get back to packing. Okay, folks, this room is finally done. I didn't film this side because it was way too hard to get the right angle, but the entire room is empty and packed up. I just have this Halloween decor to go put in the basement in the Halloween bin. I have some wrapping paper to transport. I have this trash bucket to just throw away. This is going in the car like I already explained. This is a box of donations except for this lamp. I'm putting that at my desk at work. But otherwise, it is done. Everything is packed up. I need to move everything back into this room that is like in the hallway or a bedroom, but it is all done. Okay, that is it for this episode of Read 'em or Reap. We only read 2 out of the 3 books, but the goal is to read as much as we can, but at least 2. And we did that. One was a 4-star, the other was a 5-star. So I think we did pretty good. And we have completed the first moving video. So that's pretty exciting. Sorry, this lighting is driving me crazy. The next video you're gonna see is a more legitimate moving vlog. I don't know. The plan was to start it immediately after this, but really all I have left to do is to like pack up the rest of the house. So I think I might just wait until this weekend to start the vlog and to show like the new house empty and then like the beginning projects of all of that. So I'm excited. Like, it's happening fast, but I'm ready. I'm so excited. I'm so freaking excited. So thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to keep reading, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. People say